Recently I had the privilege of sharing the communion word, and so that's what I wanted to share today. Reading from Isaiah 53 verse 3 to 5. Jesus was despised and rejected and forsaken by men, a man of sorrow, suffering and pain, acquainted with grief and sickness, and like one from whom men had hid their faces, he was despised. Surely he took our pain and bore our suffering. He was pierced for our transgressions. He was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was on him, and by his stripes we are healed. I've been thinking about the cross and how Jesus paid for us with his blood. That got me thinking how indignant or ticked off I'd feel if I was to pay for something that someone had already paid for. For example, if a friend shouts you out to dinner but you get ripped off and still pay for it. I'd feel even worse if I was the friend who paid for dinner. I need to find out they paid again. The point being, it will be a great indignation if we rip ourselves off by not receiving Jesus, by not receiving forgiveness for our sins and healing for our wound, because Jesus has already paid for us with his blood. Therefore, there is great joy and great peace when we receive Jesus and the new life that he paid to give us with his blood. Recently I watched my husband give blood. It was a very proud wife moment. And we talked about later we talked about how you purposely put yourself in pain to save someone's life. Our blood can give life, but Jesus' blood and suffering that he purposely paid for us gives life and life eternal. I sometimes will imagine that there will be someone on their deathbed desperately needing life-saving blood, and the desperate worry their family would feel. Then I imagine the great joy and great peace that they would feel when they receive my husband's donated blood. That brings new life. Jesus' blood brought our peace. Peace with God, peace with ourselves, and peace with others through salvation and the forgiveness of sin. His stripes and his wounds brought our healing. So I've been asking the question, what did Jesus' blood, Jesus' pain and his sacrifice pay for? Two of my favourite preachers, Derek Prince and Joseph Prince. I found these quotes from them. So, Jesus sweated his blood that we might have peace. Jesus was punished that we might be forgiven. Jesus was wounded that we might be healed. Jesus was made sin with our sinfulness. Basically, we all do things wrong. That we might be made righteous with his righteousness, because he's perfect. Jesus died our death that we might share his life and life eternal. Jesus was made a curse that we might receive the blessing. Jesus bore our shame so we might share his glory. Jesus endured our poverty that we might share his abundance. Jesus endured rejection that we might have acceptance and acceptance with God our Father. Jesus was cut off that we might be joined to the Lord. And our old man was put to death in him through what Jesus done, and the new man might come, so the new man might come to life in us. Yes, surely Jesus paid for us. He took our pain and bore our suffering. He was pierced for our transgressions, crushed for our iniquities, and the punishment that brought us or paid for our peace was on him, and by his stripes we are healed. Bless you.